Exactly what I'm looking for. And as we grow, I'll keep running till I can't no more. You'll always be the one I want at midnight. You'll always steal my breath away.
달래 된장찌개고 달래 오이 무침, 달래 스페셜이야.
달래장.
달래장은 안 했어.
해줘야 된다고.
그래 알았다. 맛있어?
토요일 빼고.
Radio up and the blinds pulled down. You love it when nobody's around. I wanna call out round town, but you bite my lip, don't make a sound. I'll be damned if I'm leaving without you. So give me a minute to catch my breath. Take what's yours, I'll take what's left. I'm used to coming up second best. Always fail to pass the test. I'll be damned if I'm leaving